Hello and welcome to another Mock Wednesday of the Smash Accept podcast. I'm your host, Michael Royer. You can find me on Twitter at DynastyDad FF. Joined as always by my main man, Snoog. We've been coming at you every single Tuesday, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time with our trade shows. Every Wednesday, we've been coming at you guys with our mock drafts. Snoog, every Tuesday I get amped up for that trade show. Now it's Wednesday, and I'm like all day. I'm like, I can't wait to start doing another mock draft where guys in the Patreon, guys in the Discord just chopping it up. And it's awesome, man.
You know, I love the trade show, but you know where the bread and butter is at for me. You know, I love the rookies, love the draft, love the process leading up to it. So this is what I live for. This is where I put my time in, and all my effort is into prospects, figuring out who I like, don't like, who to tell you guys to draft and who to tell you guys to avoid. So I'm excited to jump into this. This is my first one QB mock. I always like one QB mocks because I don't draft quarterbacks anyways in super flex rookie mock drafts. So yeah, works for me. So
we'll help you out. And like some of you guys have been asking if I'm Snoog's real dad, you know, because you know, I've been around long enough to know that one QBs were a thing. No. And see you guys on here. Kevin says, you know, what's good on YouTube? Jack Colavecchio says couple of dogs. Guys, hit that subscribe button right now. We are coming at you with 5 videos a week right now, putting you guys into the position to absolutely smash your offseason. Snoog and I are going to do another mock draft here. We got 10 guys from the Patreon. Scarface is leading these up. If you guys like doing mock drafts, we are literally in there every single day, 2 and 2 or 3 of them. He sets them up. And then we do this one every Wednesday with guys in the Patreon. So, you know, gives you guys an opportunity for a shout out. Scarface, if you want to hit start the draft, and we're going to go one quarterback, your standard type draft. You know, we're going to nothing crazy, just a PPR in a 0.5 tight end premium this time, Snoop. We're not doing our normal 0.75. But this year's class, when it comes to the quarterbacks, it's not much of a change, right? Like a normal super flex, we're looking at it where we're saying last year there maybe 4, maybe 5 quarterbacks. This year, there's 2, and you and I don't necessarily want either of them. So, like, this is what makes this draft here a lot easier, a lot more, you know, centralized. My man Codester, that's Scarface himself. He went Ashton Jeanty here at the 1. This particular draft, Snoog, we're not doing this like we were in the past where we're saying, what's the landing spot? Straight up, it's easy. Ashton Jeanty is the 101, all formats. I'm starting to like him more. I mean, I think we even have a situation, you know, in Smash Accept 17, he went pick 208. I think he's going to start going earlier than that. And the cool thing is, I think he's going to possibly go top 6 to 8 picks. Like, he's explosive, he's fun, he's Bijan, he's Gibbs. He's going to be in that same mold, and people are going to love having him on their teams.
Yeah, he's another one of those not generational running back prospects, but like one of those running back prospects you get every few years, right? Like you get that Saquon, you get that Bijan Robinson, you get that type of prospect coming out. He's one of those guys, in my opinion. I mean, he was like 30 yards short of breaking the all-time single-season college football rushing record, a guy that averaged 5.5+ yards after contact per attempt, forced over 150 missed tackles, 21 years old, checks every single box, grades out to be an A+ prospect in my prospect profile model, and he had multiple 90+ PFF grades. I don't even care about the analytics. If you took all the analytics away from things and just watched him play football at Boise State, watched his highlight tape from 2023, his film, everything checks the box. Like, he looks phenomenal. Short area burst is incredible. So love Ashton Jeanty. That one's easy. It's not going to change either for me.
Yeah, and if you guys love rookie picks, I mean, we're going to start getting the graphics up here for you guys. But you guys got to check it out. Player Profiler, we partnered up with them. Fast Draft app, you guys got to get it. It's best ball. It's everything that you've been looking for. But they have something in there called Origins, where it's going to be Dynasty rookies only. If you guys use code SMASH, you'll get a $25 deposit, you know, match. You're going to get yourself in a spot where you're going to be able to draft with us live on future shows here. So, again, that's Fast Draft app. Download it today. You know, put on $25. They're going to match that for you. They're going to take care of you big time. Pick 2, Snoog. This is easy again. Right now, before we get landing spots, it's got to be Tetairoa McMillan. You know, and Clemens took him there. I'm with it. You know, Tetairoa McMillan is going to go top 10 to 12. This is a guy that's a set it and forget it wide receiver. Our guys that are in the Discord are just jumping the gun and making the picks here and kind of getting everything.
Yeah.
But
they're getting excited. They got the jitters.
They're eager. We're eager. Tetairoa McMillan's a smash here at the 102.
Yeah, he's one of those wide receivers that everybody's just overthinking right now because they have prospect fatigue with him. He's a guy that produced back-to-back 1,300 plus yard seasons, checks every box, another A prospect grade in my prospect profile. Analytics are off the charts. Everything that he does is good. He can win. He can win at the catch point. He can win downfield. Good athlete, fluid mover. He's like that Drake London, T. Higgins type wide receiver, in my opinion, with like upside to be better. Like that's like how I view him. So he's a set it and forget it top 3 rookie pick in Superflex or regular rookie drafts. And I think he's going to be a Patriot or a Panther or one of those landing spots in that top 10 to 12 range that are going to be pretty good for fantasy football. So,
yeah. Next pick here, again, pretty chalk, 103, TreVeyon Henderson. You and I both have fallen in love with the prospect.
We started a new trend.
Yeah, I mean, TreVeyon Henderson right now just looks like a Jahmyr Gibbs light. He's going to be an absolute baller at the next level, 3 down back, pass catching ability. The sky's the limit for this guy. Like, if he gets the landing spot, we keep saying this all the time. If he gets the elite landing spot, he's closer to Jeanty than he is the other guys. If he gets that big spot, if he gets the Chargers, he gets the Cowboys, one of those spots, you have to be excited here. Kyle Wynn he said, how can you not
Broncos.
be excited to get TreVeyon Henderson? What's the best landing spot?
I want Broncos.
I want Bears, Cowboys, Chargers,
Bears
Broncos.
Too.
I think those are ideal. I really like the Cowboys situation because I think he looks, honestly, sometimes a guy you just see him and you're like, he looks like that guy.
Cowboys, though, like everybody wants any of the running backs to go there. So to me, I'm thinking, okay, let me see like track record coaching staffs. Ben Johnson, the way he used Jahmyr Gibbs and Demont over there would be fun in Chicago if he was kind of like that guy there. And then with the Broncos, like Sean Payton and Kamara, Mark Ingram use multiple running backs and utilize his players to their strengths. So those are 2 kind of a little bit more under the radar spots that I like that maybe some won't, but the Broncos have a really good offensive line and they have a quarterback there. So it's just a good landing spot for me for Hendo to get like a ton of touches in year 1.
Yeah, and so far we've been pretty chalk. I mean, we're talking about guys in one quarterback, and if you've been rebuilding, this is your year, man. You're going to get loaded with your running backs. I saw on our tweet where we put this out there, Nerd Boy said, "Hey, you're going to take Emeka Egbuka at 103. Snoog, they're taking him here at 4 in this draft. Jay Savage, awesome guy in the Discord. Sell me right now on Egbuka. Like, a lot of people are really starting to see mock drafts where he isn't in the first round. I think he definitely goes round 1. If he does, he is someone that you've had the wide receiver 2 during this whole process.
Yeah, he's as pro ready as they come. He's the best route runner in this class, natural separator, strong hands through traffic, can track the ball extremely well downfield. Guy that's good after the catch, versatile. You can plug him in at the Z. You can play him outside a little bit. You can play him in the slot. You can use him in motion. So he's kind of a guy that you can plug and play in any NFL offense today. To me, with Emeka Egbuka, I mean, he's had 2 seasons with over 1,000 yards, broke out as a true sophomore playing alongside Marvin Harrison Jr. Before Emeka Egbuka got injured in year 3 with Marv, going into that year 3, Marv and Emeka were almost viewed identically. Like, especially the draft scouts and all the buzz, and like everyone thought Emeka was going to be a top 10 pick. Then he got that hamstring injury early on, and Kyle McCord was just awful. And that team just kind of went through Marv, and Emeka was kind of like off to the side a little bit. But he is very, very high floor prospect with a good ceiling as well. So he just screams fantasy points, like PPR fantasy points, like Emeka Egbuka's skill set. So to me, when it's all said and done, if he's the wide receiver 1 in this class with like the right land, like if he goes to the Rams with McVay or like the Texans with Stroud, like, and he ends up being like a 280 plus point scorer in the first 2 years, like a BTJ type, and everyone's like, he's the best wide receiver in this class, it wouldn't like shock me. Like, I think he's that good type of player. But yeah, really fun class. After the first like 4 wide receivers, if you include Travis Hunter in there, it gets ugly. Like, I'm spamming running backs and tight ends.
Yeah, for sure. And this is the year for that. This is the year to join the Smash Accept Patreon. Snoog has put together the rookie guide in there. We're starting to tie it all together on how you guys can absolutely dominate your February, March, and April right before that draft. We're going to be here for you for the entire process, help you guys smash your drafts, put you guys ahead for years to come. Like 1 year of a big-time draft, big-time prep can really set you up for the next 4 or 5 years. and people don't pay enough attention to that. A running back here who could set you up for those next couple of years, Omarion Hampton. I know you haven't been huge on him during the process, but trying to takes him here at the 105. And I think this is kind of depending on who you like. If you like Quinshon Judkins, who Kyle Moo just took at the 107. If you like Travis Hunter, who S. Owens took right there at the 106.
Good upside pick on Hunter.
This is a good area there with these 3 picks. Again, I'm saying if Travis Hunter, anybody says he's a wide receiver only, he moves all the way up to 102. It's not going to happen. It's a nice thing to talk about, but he's already said wherever he goes, he doesn't want to play just wide receiver. He wants to play a combination of the two. So it's not going to happen.
Like he's going to be I want to prove it to everybody type of player that wants to play both sides, be the first to do. So he's honestly, if you're picking before the NFL draft, he's kind of a landmine. Like I'm probably it sucks to say avoiding him because I really do love his talent, the upside, the short area ability, his athleticism through the roof. He's a damn near generational type player on the football field. Like he's that good at everything he does. But it's just tough to take him high in a rookie draft. And then he comes out and he's like, I'm a full-time corner because I'm viewed to be the best corner in the NFL, right? Like, so it's so tough with him, but he's comfortably in that top 9 range still.
Yeah. In one quarterback here, I'm taking Hampton and Judkins both over him at this point. I think both of these guys, I prefer Judkins. I'm not faulting anybody. A lot of people are really high on Hampton. I see a lot of big things in his game. Snoog, you're actually on the clock here. So, we've talked enough between you and myself about Omarion Hampton and Quinshon Judkins and how much we love them in tier 2. There's another guy potentially here in tier 2 who could be a steal. Snoog, we're at 108 here, and you're going to get Kaleb Johnson. That's just sell me on Kaleb Johnson because that. Look at that. You just look at that on the board, and that looks sexy.
He is one of 3 running backs in this class to grade out as an A+ running back prospect in my prospect profile, which means I'm looking for an early declare, a guy with a young breakout age, a guy that had 1,000+ yards in a rushing season, had 20+ receptions, had 4+ yards at the contact per attempt. He checks every single box there. Grade out as an A+ alongside Jeanty and Hampton. 23 total touchdowns, 1,500+ rushing yards, 4.5 yards at the contact per attempt this year. 6 foot, 225+ pounds. I love a lot in his game. He's one of those guys that we've talked about a lot, though, that is a lot more landing spot and scheme dependent versus some of the other guys like Judkins and Henderson that we have over him. He's talented enough to end up being the RB2 in this class if he goes to the Cowboys or if he goes to one of these teams that utilizes kind of that outside zone, that heavy split zone, and that just running the ball, letting him be patient, decisive, reading the flow of his blocks. I'd love to see him with the Cowboys in that kind of stretch and outside zone run scheme and just letting him use like his cutback ability, his processing skills, his size, his speed, his vision, and just being that patient runner that can touch the ball 20, 25 times a game. Because we saw my comp forms DeMarco Murray. I've seen that's been a comp for a lot of people. So it's not like a silent comp. A lot of people have been saying that. I kind of see a little bigger Aaron Jones as well in his game, kind of like that silky, like fluid mover, like it just doesn't waste any movement, keeps going north-south, like glides through the wind type player. But to me, if he can go to the Cowboys and be like that zone run scheme bell cow, I think he's going to be very, very good at the next level and be a rock solid RB1. So I was excited to land. I actually took this pick hoping that I would get Kaleb Johnson at this 108 spot because I'm sick of talking about Quinshon Judkins and TreVeyon Henderson.
Dude, I'm smashing Tyler Warren here at the 109. One of 2 tight ends to ever go over 1,000 receiving yards and 200 rushing yards. Shout out to David Gautieri. He says the only tight end who will go round 1 that had over 1,000 yards in a season. Like Tyler Warren is him. His final season. Tyler Warren's going to be someone that is going to go top 10 in the NFL draft. You and I both see a lot of George Kittle in his game. You're going to see that he is going to be someone, especially depending on where your tight end premium is here, Snoog. I can see, if it's 0.75, I'm not even going to fault people taking him 105, 106. If it's 2 tight end premium, I could see 104. Snoog, in this class, in a 1 quarterback, if it's 2 tight end, you could really have an argument for him at 103. That's how good he is, and it really depends on the format. This one's actually for you, Andrew Childs, because you've been asking about this a lot. Love the one quarterback content. A lot of you guys on Discord, on Twitter, you guys keep saying, hey, we need to see more one quarterback. We're here for you, So if you guys like one quarterback, make sure you hit the like button on here. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you comment on those kind of things. Really helps grow the page. So I love that right there. Scarface says if Warren goes top 10 in the NFL, then he will be a top 5 rookie draft pick and 0.75 tight end premium. I'm not faulting you on that. I'm not doubting that at all. Justin Tech says, shopping my 1 QB 104 right now, and there's a lot of demand. Love this class. Love that comment.
I love this class too. I love this class too because I'm a big running back guy. And last year we highlighted go for your wideouts, go for wide receivers. Don't even waste your time taking running backs. People were taking Brooks high, Benson high, all these guys high. And you could have just been smashing wide receivers just back to back to back. And it worked out. Even quarterbacks too. So
our boy Dion's Raw is going with the first quarterback here, which I think slightly high with Luther Burden still on the board. But this is the clear cut, QB1 of the class, where I personally have him right now at the 111. So this isn't a huge reach or anything like that. I could see if you need a quarterback taking him here 110. I could also see going with Colston Loveland in a tight end premium. I could see taking Luther Burden. I could even see in a one quarterback format. I mean, I'm still likely taking Cam Skattebo and Devin Neal here yet. So he's at 111 to 201, 202 range. It's not Jaden Daniels. It's not Caleb Williams. It's not Drake May. So for me, I'm waiting a little bit more when it comes to the quarterbacks here. I'm not faulting this pick. If you need a quarterback, go for it. But I really like some of these other guys in this area. I mean, Skattebo, for instance, Colston Loveland. Those are the guys that I feel like in this area should be going. So Ward's going to be good. When I played one quarterback league last year, I told everybody to take Jaden Daniels at 109, 110, 111. And a lot of you guys were scoffing at it. You're just like, why would you even do that? And you're like, because this is what you could get. Cam Ward does not have that same ceiling. Cam Ward's ceiling is more of a, at QB 12 to 15 range, so if you're starting Cam Ward at any point in the next couple of years, I don't think he's an everyday starter. I look at him more as a high end QB2 in Dynasty. I don't know about you, Snoog, we're waiting on that next pick there, but Matthew's here. He said Cam Ward is a better prospect than Jaden Daniels. Matthew, that is spicy. I mean, Jaden Daniels was through 47 touchdowns, was the Heisman Trophy winner and balling out his final year there. But now we get slim pickings. He's going with Luther Burden here. So Luther Burden is a good pick at this stage in the game. You're getting, a top-notch wide receiver that's going to be going round 1 in the NFL draft at pick 111. In one quarterback league, some years you're scrounging. You're saying, who do I got to try to make up here? What's going to happen? Who am I going to go with? I'm all in on Luther Burden here at this price.
Yeah, this is a good price for me for Luther. I'm honestly taking everybody that went over him right now. I like Luther Burden a lot. I'm a little bit lower on him right now just because I do think he needs a specific situation that can utilize him to his strengths. He's not like your traditional wide receiver that can go out there and just run routes consistently, be an elite route runner, elite separator, plug and play anywhere. He's more of that unique Deebo Samuel, Jaden Reed type of player that is going to be highly efficient, but not a volume driven type guy, if that makes sense. But he's definitely a first round grade for me. I still think he's the 4th best wide receiver in this class. And then after him is kind of that line. And then it's just take running backs or Colston Loveland or tight ends. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah. Because there are wide receivers I like in this class. Trey Harris, Jalen Royals, there's going to be some guys, but this year's class is going to be dominated by the running back position. So, once you get past this, we got to start looking at it here. My man Ronald here is going to be picking up Ronald Sanchez 7. He's going to be picking at the 112, and then we're going to kind of kick it back here in the linear format. I was like, oh, I'm going to be picking up again here soon. We're going to go linear since it is rookie picks here. Snoog, right now, as we're in between picks, tell everybody what they're going to get when they sign up for, the rookie guide? Because a lot of guys in the Discord are already starting to look at it. They're absolutely loving it. What are guys going to get, and how can they go about getting that?
Yeah. So if you just reach out to me on Twitter or via DM, and if you're in the Discord, I can get that sorted out for you, and we can figure that out. Right now, we're aiming to kind of drop it it's probably going to be early next week, maybe middle of next week. A little bit of a delay on it because it's actually taken longer than we expected, because we're just trying to do as high quality work. We're going to do a run through and just make sure everything's all accurate, spelling, all that good stuff. But 50 plus prospects, full breakdowns of them, kind of like a overview bio of like the player, the skill set, kind of their strengths, weaknesses. Then we jump into things like the combine, their prospect profile grade, their production. For running backs, it's their rushing in, receiving production, their age, all that good stuff. So we have a lot of cool stuff there for those prospects. And then when we give you guys version 3, it's going to be like talking about version. It's going to be talking about, it's going to be talking about like the player equivalents and how to trade rookie picks and how to get out of the 25 draft and get into the 26 draft, all that good stuff. Dad and I are going to cover that part for you. So really excited about the rookie draft guide. I've been putting so much time and effort into the prospects and the players, and looking at so many different things to figure out the good scheme fits for each player and their skill set. So excited for that.
Yeah. Ronald Sanchez goes Cam Skattebo here. I love this pick. I could see taking Skattebo as high as 110 with how he's going to rise up boards. I think he's going to go get round 2 draft capital. You keep saying David Montgomery. I keep seeing it, and I'm like, dude, I want him to go to Chicago. I want him to be a David Montgomery role for a Ben Johnson offense. And I think Cam Skattebo is so – ultimately, guys end up typecasting guys because they say every white wide receiver is Cooper Kupp, and then every white running back is this. But Cam Skattebo is not – that. I mean, this guy has a lot of shiftiness. He's great in the passing game, led all of college football in yards per route run. I mean, let's not try to just look at a guy and just assume what he is. He looks like a bulldozer, but he's got some moves in the open field. He's an absolute dog. I love him here at 112. And then I'm gonna throw the next pick over there to you. You usually take the Cam Skattebo talk, so I'm gonna let you have the Colston Loveland talk. He goes 2-1 here to my main man Scarface. Loveland, we've seen a lot, and we have him in, late first in a super flex draft. So getting him in the second round of your one quarterback just feels like it's almost criminal.
Yeah. Colston Loveland's a very high-end tight end prospect. In most tight end classes, he's probably fighting for that one spot. I think you could even maybe argue him as the tight end 1 in this class. It'd say he goes to the Chargers in round 1, or he goes to the Broncos in round 1, and he gets just that really good high-end landing spot. But they're both elite prospects, Warren and Loveland. They're both going to test well. They're both prototypical tight end size athletes, production. Loveland's production's not as crazy as Warren's is, but if you look at how bad Michigan's offense is, I think he accumulated like 38% of their offensive yards in the passing game. So like the production's there. He had like 650 plus yards as a sophomore at 19. So it's like production's there for what that offense was putting out. So I love Colston Loveland as a value here. Like this is where I'm thinking like, okay, like I don't have to take him over like a Burden, a Warren, a Johnson, a Judkins, but like he slips into that early second. To me, I'm thinking in my head, Cam Skattebo, Devin Neal, Colston Loveland. I'm leaving with one of those 3 players in that 201 to 1 or that 112 to 202 range. And then like I think there's a tier gap now. Like I think the tier just end, and now it start
just ended at 2-2.
Yeah. We're gonna start one that lasts like
and
a decent amount of time.
Colston Loveland is literally, you just won the championship and you have Travis Kelce or George Kittle. Now you just go get your next guy. Get him at the 112 and just smash that there. What I love here is my boy Clemens going and getting Devin Neal at the 2-2. I think Devin Neal is going to be one of the bigger risers here. I keep talking about him every single show, how much I love how shifty he is, how patient he is, how explosive this guy is going to be. Like Devin Neal, someone that you can bet is Dynasty Dad approved. I'm going to be trading everywhere to get me some Devin Neal shares, and that's something where you got to really have conviction sometimes, Snoog. Like a lot of guys in the Discord or guys that on the Patreon, guys on Twitter, they're saying, Dad, I like to really diversify my rookie drafts. You and I don't play that way. Like you and I are like, I love Brock Bowers. I'm going to draft him in every freaking draft. You know what I mean? We
Yeah.
love Jahmyr Gibbs. You know, like I'm not just going to diversify and just say, give me Bryce Young because I feel like not having all my eggs in one basket. Put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to guys that you believe in, like TreVeyon Henderson, like Devin Neal. You know, like it drives me nuts when guys say that. Value is value. So, I mean, if they're in the same tier, sure. Like if you're like, I did 9 drafts and I have 9 TreVeyon Hendersons and I really want to get a share of Emeka Egbuka because I'm like, I need a little bit more wide receiver strength, but I'm all for that. Like that's one of those comments with me where I'm like, that's not process over results. That's just winging it.
Yeah, you go get your guys. That's one of those things. Like you get your guys. Like I had Kamara and Kittle in like literally 80% of my dynasty leagues this year, and I was in like 20 of them, and it paid off. Like you got to take risks. You got guys you're confident in. Yeah, you're playing the injury card. Like if one gets injured, I think could get a little sus there, but I play to win. I play for championships, and that's what you do. So
I play for keeps. Then we got a little Shedeur Sanders here at 202. I feel like this is probably the area where you're okay. You know, Kyle Wynn's a sharp guy. He goes ahead and he takes Shedeur Sanders here at 2-2. And I think this is about right. I mean, like, I think now we're starting to be like, okay, what's the best guy you can – Kyle says he almost took Jalen Monroe just for Snoog. Just wanted to see where he goes. But Snoog, I mean, Shedeur Sanders, we both like his tape. We don't love his tape. But there isn't another prospect here where I'm like, I got to go have this guy. And until we see a landing spot, we could see, you know, Dylan Sampson go to the Chiefs, or, you know, like Ollie Gordon goes to the Chargers, or, you know, like Trey Harris goes to the Texans in round 2. Then everything's going to change. But right now, I'm okay with taking Sanders here.
Yep, me as well. There goes Ollie right off the board there. Ollie's going to be one of those guys that I think could gain like so much of his value back if the NFL just like stays true to him and believes in him. Like a lot of people haven't given up on him because he was great in 2023. I would love. He screams Pittsburgh Steeler to me.
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah,
big, elusive, kind of bruiser, like a Najee type running back that can kind of be that like elusive, patient, good vision zone run scheme type player, but can also have decent enough speed and athleticism to take off if there's a gap or if he's kind of just hitting creases. But yeah, I could see him there. I could also see him being like a Charger with Harbaugh, just like a big back, 230 plus pounds. He's going to make his money at the combine. Like if he runs, like if Braylon Allen didn't run at all, which was like kind of a red flag. I think if Ollie runs like a 4.5 or like a 4.45, like somehow runs really good for his size, I think he'll find himself on day 2 of the draft. I really do. I don't think he's like that really athletic though. I think he's more like elusive, like kind of laterally gifted for his size. I don't think he's really like explosive speed, like that type of player, but we'll see.
Dylan Sampson he has that speed, you know, and he's a guy goes 2.5 here to trying to someone that I think is really going to move up boards after the combine, like that pick there. And then 2.6, there's a real scenario depending. I think the community is very divided on Harold Fannin Jr. because of the fact that he's not going to be in line quite as often, you know, like I saw a couple of guys really saying, you know, the days of Travis Kelce, Evan Ingram, you know, those kind of tight ends are starting to dwindle a little bit. But I think Harold Fannin is someone that's going to create a lot of mismatches. So, I mean, I'm personally on him. I think 206 is real good value here.
Yeah, I like that value on Harold Fannin. If you produce in I just got sniped. If you produce like that and you're a guy that can put up 1,500 yards at tight end in college, that's ridiculous. So, yeah, you might be right, but like Jonnu Smith, there's still plenty of guys that are winning in that type of way that aren't really as good in line. And it's not like he doesn't have the size. Like he's still like 6'4", 230, 235. He's just a bigger framed player still. He's not like a Pitts where he's like 200 pounds or like whatever. So it's like he's got decent size where it's not like too bad in my opinion. I'm between two guys here, Matthew Golden and the guy I'm about to take. I'm going to take the guy I'm about to take just so I can talk about him because I think he's going to be a huge riser after the draft. I'm going to go Brashard Smith out of SMU. He's kind of like that satellite third down, like elite receiving back coming out that I think could play like that Sean Payton Joker role in like an offense, like maybe the Texans or one of those teams take them in like round 4, maybe like late day 3, and they want to get like a Derrick Henry or a Joe Mixon or one of these type of guys like an elite 1-2 change of pace, like satellite type running back, like kind of almost like that A-Chain, that Jahmyr Gibbs type of player where it's like they're like a 1B. I have him graded out as a 1B. He had 18 total touchdowns this year, 1,300 plus yards. But where he separates himself from some of these other running backs, especially the day 3 group, is coaching staffs and organizations are looking at a bunch of good running backs, but they're trying to figure out who stands out the most. So by that, I mean, I'm looking for guys that I can deploy in different ways. I can use them with versatility. I can use them as a receiver. I can use them in the run game. I can use them as a change of pace guy. He's one of those type of guys that you can use in numerous ways. He literally played receiver at Miami. He was recruited as a receiver, converted to running back, decent size, 5'9", 195. Like we've seen A-Chain, Gibbs, all these running backs, really good. Bucky being sub 190, 5'9", 5'10" running backs. So the game's changing. So Brashard Smith's a guy that I'm going to be getting everywhere in rookie drafts because he's just a pure upside play. And with 208, 209, 210, 301, I could give less of a crap if that pick doesn't hit. Like I'm going for the moon. So I'm not here to take Jaden Higgins or Isaiah Bond or one of these, I don't know, Jalen Royals type wide receivers that I'm hoping they're a wide receiver 3 or I'm hoping they're a wide receiver 2 on a team. I want upside. I want a guy that you're chasing that can be that 70, 80 catch guy in a Sean Payton offense. And I think he fits that mold. So that's why I'm going to take Brashard Smith here.
I'm taking the steal of the draft at this point now, and I'm glad you left Matthew Golden there because
I left him.
Snoog,
I was going to take him, but
Matthew Golden's going to go round 1 in the NFL draft. Everybody's saying it. I see it there. If that happens, he belongs at the 110 to 112 range, at least in the debate. Because let's say he goes to the Texans. It really depends on where he goes. If he goes to the Steelers and Pickens walks, I mean, this is one of the most explosive wide receivers in this class, led all of college football with 24, 20-plus yard plays. You know, I think Matthew Golden, we're sleeping on way too much here. I mean, Trey Harris, he was the yards per route run master. And I think Sampson and Gordon are likely going to fall, because unless they get the draft capital. I think Matthew Golden's a guy that we're going to see. No chance that he goes this late when we're talking about drafted in May. Another guy that could have good draft capital, dominated at the Senior Bowl. He weighs pretty close to, like I said, the same as my 13-year-old son. But Tez Johnson, like he's really slim. Like honestly, if he gets wet, his 40 time is going to double. But this is something where I think you're going to see Tez Johnson move up. Because the new NFL, if he can separate at the line and he can be an elite level separator with this speed, Tez Johnson's going to get really nice draft capital. Snoog, you're on mute, buddy.
He's good. I wish he was like 170.
I know, right? Like
5-ish.
I would love to see him put on another 10.
I think if he was 170, 175, I think he would have went round 2 for sure.
Yeah. But if he doesn't, though, are we talking this is more of like a Tutu Atwell? Like if he goes round 3, it's like I don't want anything to do with him. If he goes round 2, I'm still, I'll still take him in this range. But he has to go round 2 for me, like round 2, early 3, because we're gonna say like Troy Franklin, like we're gonna have a situation like that.
Yeah, I'm taking running. This is the range where I like Harris going, I like Golden going, I like Royals going, and Higgins going. Those should be the only 4 here. Those 4 wide receivers I just named should be the only ones going in that second to early third, like 301 range. Is those 4 that went?
And who's going to be the last pick here?
It should be Jaden Higgins or Damian Martinez, or it should be Higgins, Martinez, or Giddens, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And this Elijah Arroyo, like if he gets early round 2 draft capital, he could be someone like in the right situation that can slot in as a chess piece type player. because he's got the size too.
Since we're doing one quarterback here, I mean, for me, Jackson Dart has to be a 3rd-round pick, because even if he goes round 1, he's not going to be someone that you're going to want to put in your lineup at any point, in his first 2 years. But I think, get him round 3, not a big deal. Other guys that did not go in this draft, I mean, Io Manor, you look at, obviously Isaiah Bond, Restrepo, Damian Martinez, Jaden Higgins doesn't go in this one, LaQuint Allen. There's
a lot
talent here. The 3rd rounders in your 1 quarterback league are still going to have some really nice value. There's RJ Harvey. There's going to be guys that you can go ahead in here that are going to just Jordan James. Honestly, like, this is a deep class. You're going to want those 3rd-round picks. I like the early thirds when you're talking about 1 quarterback and Superflex leagues, because, again, Superflex is not changing much. Everybody keeps saying, Dad, what's the big difference? It's 3 quarterbacks. Like, 2 of them are going round 1. Maybe one of them goes mid-round 2. We're not talking about anything else. Maybe Jalen Milroe in the late 2nd, early 3rd, if he gets drafted in the right spot. A minute left on the clock here, so I'm gonna let you real quick, before we close out and before we get this last pick, anything that's on your mind about the Discord, about the Patreon, about anything, because this has just been this last week has been an awesome week for Smash Accept. So many guys joining, so many guys coming in there. Now they're starting to tell their friends, because they know we have a $5, where we're going to just referral bonus, those kind of things. Guys, it's not just the best kept secret. Now it's like a chamber of boys, right? We're all in there just talking shop all the time. DJ Giddens goes at 212. That's a wrap. I'm going to share the board here real quick. Snoog, you want to go ahead and take us through 1 through 24?
Yeah, so it's pretty on par with exactly what we would have done for the first 3. Ashton Jeanty, Tet McMillan, TreVeyon Henderson. Those are your rock solid, graded out to be pretty elite prospects. Even Emeka Egbuka. The strength of this class is definitely running back. As you can see, this whole board is majority running back. You have all the way through our RB11 taken in this draft so far. So you got Omarion Hampton there at the 105, Travis Hunter there at the 106. Then you got back-to-back workhorse caliber running backs that we have graded out with Quinshon and Kaleb Johnson. Then you have Tyler Warren, who's graded out to be a top 15 NFL draft pick tight end. Cam Ward in 1 quarterback gets in there at that late first range. And then we got Luther Burden, Cam Skattebo, Colston Loveland, and Devin Neal. Everybody listening, start loading up on that 111 to 202 range, because I guarantee you there's going to be scenarios. This is just 1 QB. Picture Superflex with Sanders up there, and then Dart will probably squeeze into the top 10 to 12 if he gets first-round draft capital. You're going to be able to get Neal, Loveland, Skattebo, Burden, maybe a Egbuka if Burden goes ahead. Like Kaleb Johnson, we saw go 201 in the league. Like, you're going to get some good players there. And then I think there's a huge tier gap after the 202 and 1 quarterback. And then you got Sanders, Gordon, Sampson, Fannin, Trey Harris, Brashard Smith, Matthew Golden, Tez Johnson, Jalen Royals, and DJ Giddens there. I'm at the point with this draft where I think I'm just taking running backs over wide receivers, unless it's like you're starting to take like Jordan James. Like, I'm not taking him over Trey Harris, Matthew Golden, any of those guys, but like definitely Neal and Skattebo. I'm taking over every wide receiver after Burden. Then you get to like Sampson, Gordon, Brashard Smith. I think you can start mixing them in there with like Trey Harris, Matthew Golden type receivers. But strength of this class is tight end and running back for sure. We've been saying that for months now. We all know it. Check out the Patreon, because I've been getting a lot of DMs on Twitter. Like, I don't know what to do with my rookie picks. How can I do this? How can I do that? You should see the Discord on like the first like 2 weeks after the NFL draft. It is crazy. You're not just getting our advice. There's like 570 people in there, and there are so many people giving each other advice. I said it the other day on the stream. We had 108 messages in the Fantasy Football Talk alone in just one chat from yesterday. It was 2 days ago, literally within the span of 24 hours. So that's where you want to be. You can get into startups. You can get into orphans. You can get into all these type of leagues as well. You get all of our rankings, Dad and I's, and you get access to our DMs. It's where you want to be.
Dude, I see so many guys in our YouTube comments just saying, how can I get in a good league? Anybody else want to start a league? Guys, even if you just want to do this and check it out for $5, there are startups starting every single day. There are guys that are, with this many guys, you're talking about 570 guys who are just like you that want to play, where you're talking about a lot of you guys DM me, you're like, Dad, most of my league disappears in February and March. Not these guys. Like you're going to start up a league where you're going to make some real friends, some guys that actually know ball, that are going to be dynasty gearheads like you are, so check it out. SmashAccept.com, patreon.com/SmashAccept. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and enjoy the process.